So our objectives for this laboratory report is to explain the computation by presenting a step-by-step process from different methods, perform a cooking video basing on the patient's nutritional assessment, and to construct a meal plan that corresponds to the patient's nutritional assessment. So this is the nutritional assessment, and this is patient X. She is a female, a 65-year-old, and she is from Cebu City. She is a retired teacher, and she is free any time of the day. Her anthropometric, her weight is 118 lbs or 54 kilograms. Her height is 5'3" or 160.02 cm. And her nutritional status is normal. The DBW is 54 kilograms and 118 lbs. And her TR is 1,500 kcal, or the requirement meal, or the required calories. So her weight circumference is 27 inches. And her laboratory results, 90 mg. Her birth date is January 5, 1956. And the lipid profile, she has 190 mg of cholesterol, and her BP is 120/80, and pulse is 63 BPM, and the uric acid non HDL 38 mg, LDL 120 mg, VLDL 10 mg, triglycerides 120 mg. So for her nutritional goal, she should limit her food intake that contains saturated fats and trans fats, especially processed foods. She needs to eat plenty of fiber and drink plenty of fluids since she has already come of age. Exercise daily for about 30 to 60 minutes. She needs to talk to her doctor about her personal health needs. And she needs to maintain a healthy weight and muscle strength, and she should get enough rest and sleep. So for her BMI, which means body mass index, she is 21.9 kilograms, and she is normal because 18.5 to 24.9 kilograms is considered normal for her age. So for her medical nutrition therapy or plan of treatment, she needs to lose some extra pounds, about 5 to 10 pounds, so that can help her lower her cholesterol levels. So even though she is normal, she really needs to keep it in check. So I suggest she needs to lose about 5 to 10 pounds and starting a healthy diet. Focus on plant-based foods, including fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. And she needs to exercise regularly, and she should not smoke. So for her calories, she needs to consume at least 1,500 calories a day, and her CHO is 65% or 240 grams. Her chawn 15% or 60 grams, and for the fat 20% in 30 grams. So she needs to monitor her food intake, making sure that she does not eat too much fatty foods and processed foods since she is already 65 years old. She needs to monitor her weight, being sure to be its normal body mass index, because she is at a certain age, so her weight can really affect her health. She needs to monitor total energy requirement every day that she consumes, so she needs to monitor that as well. And she needs to assess for medical conditions that may be affecting high cholesterol intake. So even though that she is normal, she really needs to look or watch out for cholesterol to be high. And she really needs to, again, she really needs to monitor her weight for signs of malnutrition or obesity as well.
So for the nutrient prescription, desirable body weight using the Tannhauser method for the Broca's index. Desirable body weight is 162.02, which is the height, minus 100, minus 10%, minus 162.02, the height, minus 100. So the DW equals 162.02 centimeters, minus 6.002. The desirable body weight is the 54 kilograms, plus or minus 5 kilograms for a healthy range. So for the TER, or the total energy requirements, and basal metabolic rate, using the highest kinetic energy expenditure, or the HPEE computation. So the weight is 54 kilograms, the height is 162.02 centimeters, and the age is 65 years old. So the BMR, or the kcal per day, is 655.1 plus 9.5633, and then 1.850 times the age, and it's 4.676. So the BMR kcal per day, which is the 655.1 plus 9.563 times 64 kilograms, which is the number 59, and the number 60 is 162.2 centimeters, and the age is 65 years old. So the BMR kcal per day is 1163.60 kcal per day. So the TER times PAL, which is the PAL, or the PAL. So the TER is 1512.68, or 1500 kcal.
Number 1 is explain why you choose that carbohydrate percentage for a patient. So patients' track calories are intentionally composed of 60% carbohydrates to supply adequate essential prerequisites of the body, causing its front to rise and additional fat inside the paunch. Number 2, explain why you choose the protein percentage for the patient. So the canned calories comprises 20% of protein in order to empower vitality, utilization, and help in muscle upkeep. The patient's age is additionally inclined to sickness and contamination, consequently higher protein admissions is recommended. And 3, explain why you chose the fat percentage for the patient. So patients eat less is composed of 20% of fat in order to preserve her BMI. Adequate great fats are expended in order to lower the hazard of heart, malady, and stroke, and make a difference the body assimilate imperative supplements.
Hello, this is Yohanna and I will be discussing about the food exchange computation. So first, you need to allow 3 to 5 exchanges of vegetables per day, and the number of exchanges will then be multiplied to the number of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats in which the food item contains. Afterwards, it will then be added to obtain the number of calories, and the process will then be repeated to the other food items. Next is to allow 3 to 5 exchanges of fruits per day, and last there is a need of drastic restriction of simple carbohydrates. Also allow at least 1 exchange of milk, which can either be low-fat, non-fat, or whole milk, if tolerated. The amount and type of milk depends upon the client's needs and health conditions. Lastly, allow 3 to 6 exchanges of sugar per day unless contraindicated. Now, to determine the rice exchanges, add the total amount of carbohydrates from the food items, vegetables, fruits, milk, and sugar, which is called partial sum. Now, the partial sum will be subtracted from the prescribed amount of carbohydrates. The difference will then be divided by 23 grams, which is a constant number. This will now be the amount of carbohydrate per exchange of rice. Now, this process will be repeated for the other exchanges. Now, the exchanges of rice A B, and C is determined by dividing the amount of carbohydrates per exchange of rice. Now, to determine the meat exchanges, all the protein content of the food items mentioned will be added to gather the partial sum. It will then be subtracted from the prescribed protein and divided by the constant number 8 to get the number of meat exchanges. And same goes for the fat exchanges. The exchanges of low-fat meat, medium-fat meat, and high-fat meat are adjusted to get the partial sum of the fat content of food items, which will then be subtracted and divided by the constant number 5 to get the number of fat exchanges. Now, to get the total and its RDA, all the carbohydrates, protein, and fat content of all the food items will be added. Now, the total carbohydrates and proteins are multiplied by 4 while the fat is multiplied by 9 to get its RDA. Now, the RDA will then be added, and the total calories is determined from the food items, which must be equal to the amount of RDA.
So exchange distribution is where we distribute the different food items depending on how many servings or exchanges for breakfast, AM snack, lunch, PM snack, dinner, and bedtime snack. So first things first, we list down a number of servings or exchanges for the food items. So where do we get that? We base it from the food exchange computation. So we basically just copy this to this. So for vegetables, we have 4 exchanges, fruit 3, non-fat milk 0, low-fat milk 1, then whole milk 0, sugar 3, rice A 1, rice B 4, rice C 2, low-fat meat 2 exchanges, med-fat meat 2, high-fat meat 0, then lastly for fat 4 exchanges. So how do we distribute these to this? So first, we add the amount of total servings. So 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 1, 8, plus 3, 11, plus 1, 12, plus 4, 16, plus 2, 18, plus 2, 20, plus 2, 22, and then plus 4, which is 26. So there are a number of 26 servings. Then after that, we decide how to divide the meals. It really depends on the patient. Personally, I think it would be a good idea if the patient's stomach always feels full or there's always something inside and it doesn't feel empty. So I made it all even. So for breakfast 25%, lunch 25%, dinner 25% as well. 25%, then snacks 25%. Although snacks may seem a lot, since snacks are divided into 3, however we didn't decide to add bedtime snack, so it'll be divided for AM snack and PM snack. So to find the number of servings for each, we divide 26 to 25%. So the 25% of 26 is 6.5. Since they are all the same, they can't all be 7, so because it won't be the same amount as 26. So I decided to make some of it as 6. So for breakfast 6 servings, lunch 7, then for dinner 6, then for snacks 7 servings. So for vegetables, there are 4 servings. For breakfast, no vegetable, 1 fruit exchange, non-fat milk 0, low-fat milk 0, whole milk 0, sugar 0, rice A 0, rice B 0, rice C 1 exchange, low-fat meat 0, med-fat meat 2, exchanges, then 0 for high-fat meat, and 2 for fat. There are still 4 exchanges left that we can be able to distribute. Here we still have 2, then here we still have 1, 3, etc, etc. So for M snack, they have 0 vegetable exchanges, fruit 0 as well, non-fat milk 0, low-fat milk 0, whole milk 0, sugar 1, rice A 0, rice B 1, rice C 0, low-fat milk 0, and fat milk 0, high-fat milk 0, and lastly for fat, 1 exchange. Then for lunch, we have 2 exchanges of vegetable, 1 exchange of fruit, non-fat milk 0, low-fat milk 0, whole milk 0, sugar 0, rice A 0, 2 exchanges of rice B, zero rice C, 1 low-fat meat, and 0 medium-fat meat, 0 high-fat meat, and 1 exchange of fat. Then we have PM snack. 0 vegetable, 1 fruit, 0 non-fat milk, 1 low-fat milk, 0 whole milk, 1 sugar, rice A, 0, rice B 0, rice C 0, low-fat meat 0, medium-fat meat 0, high-fat meat 0, and fat 1. Then we have dinner. Two exchanges of vegetable, 0 exchanges of fruit, 0 non-fat milk, 0 low-fat, whole milk 0, sugar 0, rice A1, rice B1, rice C1, low-fat meat 1, then mid-fat meat 0, high-fat meat 0, then lastly for fat 0. Then we did not put any exchanges for bedtime snack, so that will be left blank. So this table is a basis on how we will create the meal. Food composition table for breakfast. So first we determine the percent of carbohydrate, protein, and fat in the meal. So for avocado, there was 1 piece, bread 2 pieces, boiled eggs 2 pieces, mayonnaise 1 teaspoon, and mango 1 slice. And its AP weight is 65. For bread 35, boiled eggs 110, and mayonnaise 5, mango 103. So for EP weight or edible portion weight, avocado is 65 as well, 35 for white bread, 110 for boiled eggs, mayonnaise 5, and mango 60. So to find the percentage, we basically divide the EP weight to the AP weight. From the AP weight, I mean. So 65 divided by 65, and then we multiply it to 100. So 65 divided by 65 times 100 is equal to 100. So that's 100%. So if the AP weight and AP weight are the same, it'll be 100%. So for mango slice, we divide 60 from 103 times 100 is equal to 58.25. So to fill this in, we base it from the food exchange list. Since avocado is one exchange of fat, one exchange of fat is 0 carbohydrates, 0 protein, and 5 out of 100 grams of fat. For white bread, since it is rice C, 23 carbohydrates, 4 protein, and 0 fat. And for boiled eggs, which is a medium fat meat, since there are 2 exchanges, it will be multiplied by 2. So for carbohydrate, 0, protein, 16, and fat is 12. And for mayonnaise, which is one exchange of fat, 0 carbohydrate, 0 protein, and 5 grams of fat. And lastly, for mango, which is a fruit, 10 carbohydrates, 0 protein, and 0 fat. So to determine these parts, we basically multiply the EP weight to the carbohydrate grams per 100 grams and for the protein and fat as well. Then divide by 100. So 65 times, well, this is 0, so it's immediately 0 or none. And for protein as well. Then for fat, we will have 5 times 65 divided by 100, which is 3.25. Then we have for white bread, 23 times 35 divided by 100 is equal to 8.05. 8.05. Then for its protein, 4 times 35 divided by 100 is 1.4, and 0 for fat, 0 grams for fat. Then for boiled eggs, 0 for carbohydrates. For protein, we would have 16 times 110 divided by 100 is 17.6. Then for fat, we have 12 times 110 divided by 100, which is 13.2. Then for mayonnaise, 0 for carbohydrates, 0 for protein, and 3.25 for fat. Then we have mango, 10 times 60 divided by 100 is equal to 6. For protein, 0. And lastly for fat, 0. So we add the carbohydrates of the meal, the proteins of the meal, and the fat. So for carbohydrates, all in all, we have 14.15. Then for protein, we have 19 grams. Then for fat, we have 16.7 grams. So we multiply it based here. So for carbohydrates, we multiply it with 4. So 14.15 times 4 is 60 kilocalories. Then 19 grams times 4 is equal to 80 kilocalories. Then lastly, we have 16.7 times 9, which is 150 kilocalories. So when we add that all together, it will become 290. So in order to find the percentages, we base it on this formula: carbohydrate kilocalories over the total energy times 100 is the percentage. So for carbohydrates, 60 divided by 290 times 100 is equal to 20%. Next, 80 kilocalories divided by 290 times 100 is equal to 30%. Then, 150 kilocalories divided by 290 times 100 is equal to 50%. Now that we're done determining the macronutrients, it's time to determine the micronutrients. So we base it from the food table to know the different values for the different micronutrients. So H2O for avocado grams per 100 grams is 83.9, white bread 23.2, boiled eggs 72.4, mayonnaise 17.7, and mango 77.4. For DF, avocado has 4.3, white bread 3.3, 0 for eggs, 0 for mayonnaise, and 2.2 for mango. For ash, we have 0.6, 6.8, 1, 1.4, and 0.4 for mango. For calcium, avocado has 11, white bread 77, eggs 36, mayonnaise 26, and mango 7. Then for phosphorus we have 37 for avocado, white bread 95, eggs 178, 22 for mayonnaise, and 10 for mango. And for iron, we have 0.8 for avocado, 3.9 for white bread, 1.9 for eggs, 0.5 for mayonnaise, and 0.3 for mango. So to compute this, it's the same principle as the macronutrients. You just basically multiply the grams per 100 grams table to the edible portion weight of the food that it aligns with. So 83.9 times 65 divided by 100 is equal to 54.64. 4.3 times 65 divided by 100 is 2.8. Then 0.6 times 65 divided by 100 is 0.39. Then 11 times 65 divided by 100 is 7.15. And 27 times 65 divided by 100 is 17.55. Then for iron is 0.8 times 65 divided by 100 is equal to 0.52. So to compute the edible parts of each micronutrient, it's basically the same principle as the macronutrients, in which we multiply the grams per 100 grams to the EP weight and divided it by 100. So for avocado, 83.9 times 65 divided by 100 is equal to 54.54. Then 4.3 times 65 divided by 100 is equal to 2.8. Then ash is 0.6 times 65 divided by 100, 0.39. Calcium, 11 times 65 divided by 100 is equal to 7.15. Then for phosphorus, 27 times 65 divided by 100 is 17.55. And for iron, we have 0.8 times 65 divided by 100 is equal to 0.52. And we continue the same thing for the other food items. So for white bread, H2O 23.2 times 35 divided by 100 is 8.12. For dietary fiber, we have 1.16, 6.8 times 35 divided by 100 is equal to 2.38. For calcium, we have 77 times 35 divided by 100, which is 26.95. 6.95. Phosphorus, we have 95 times 35 divided by 100, which is 33.25. And lastly, 3.9 times 35 divided by 100 is equal to 1.57. Then we have eggs. So 72.4 times 110 over 100 is equal to 79.64. Then we have 0 here, so it's automatically 0. Then 72.4 times 1 over 100. 1 times 110 over 100 is equal to 1.1. Then we have 36 times 110 over 100 is equal to 39.6. Then 178 times 110 divided by 100 is equal to 95.8. Then for iron, we have 1.9 times 110 over 100 is equal to 2.09. For mayonnaise, 17.7 times 5 over 100 is equal to 0.89. This 0 is automatically 0. 1.4 times 5 divided by 100 is equal to 0.07. Then 26 times 5 over 100 is equal to 1.3. Then 22 times 5 over 100 is equal to 1.1. And then 0.5 times 5 divided by 100 is equal to 0.03. Then we have mango. 77.4 times 58.25 divided by 100 is equal to 45.09. Then 2.2 times 58.25 divided by 100 is equal to 1.28. Then 0.4 times 58.25 over 100 is equal to 0.23. Then we have 7 times 58.25 divided by 100 is equal to 4.08. And 10 times 58.25 over 100 is equal to 5.83. Then 0.3 times 58.25 divided by 100 is equal to 0.17. So now that we have calculated all of the different micronutrients for each food items here, we can add them all together. So for H2O, 54.54 plus 8.12 plus 79.64 plus 0.89 plus 45.09 is equal to 188.29 grams. Then we have DF 2.8 plus 1.16 plus 1.28 is equal to 4.24 grams. Then for ash we have 0.39 plus 2.38 plus 1.1 plus 0.07 plus 0.23 is equal to 4.17 grams. Then we have 7.15 plus 26.95 plus 39.6 plus 1.3 plus 4.08 is equal to 81.78 grams. Then for phosphorus you have 17.55 grams plus 33.25 plus 195.8 1.1 plus 5.83 is equal to 253.53 grams. Total of phosphorus. Then for iron, 0.52 plus 1.37 plus 2.09 plus 0.03 plus 0.17 is equal to 4.17 grams. 4.17 grams. So we add it all together. 188.29 plus 4.24 plus 4.17 grams plus 81.78 plus 253.53 and 4.17 is equal to 536.18 grams. So now it is time to answer this portion and calculate this portion to find the total macronutrients. So for retinol, it's 0. For B-carotene, we have 45 times 65 divided by 100 is equal to 29.25. Then for RE, we have 4 times 65 divided by 100, which is equal to 26. Then vitamin B1, we have 0.03. Then B2, we have 0.05. And B3, we have 0.85. Then for vitamin C, 13 times 65 divided by 100 is equal to 8.45. For boiled eggs, 81 times 110 divided by 100 is equal to 89.1. 0 is 0. 81, same, 89.1. And 0.06 times 110 over 100 is equal to 0.07. And for B2, we have the same, 0.07. Then next, 0.43. For B3, we have 0.47. Then lastly, vitamin C, 0. Then we have white bread, 0 retinol, 0 B-carotene, 0 RE, 0.2 times 35 divided by 100 is equal to 0.07. Then 0.16 times 35 divided by 100 is equal to 0.06. 3.3 times 35 divided by 100 is equal to 1.16. And for vitamin C, we have 0. So next for mayonnaise, 17.7 retinol times 5 divided by 100 is equal to 0.89. B-carotene, we have 6 times 5, which is 30 divided by 100 is equal to 0.3. 91 Re times 5 divided by 100 is equal to 4.55. 0.01 times 5 divided by 100 is equal to 0. 0.02 times 5 divided by 100 is equal to 0. Then B3 0, vitamin C 0. And we have mango, 0 retinol, 1400 beta-carotene times 58.25 divided by 100 is equal to 815.5. Then next we have Re, 117 times 58.25 is equal to 68.15. Then for B1, 0.12 times 58.25 by 100 is equal to 0.07. Same for B2. Then 1.2 times 58.25 by 100 is equal to 0.7. And for 27, for vitamin C, we have 15.73. So now that we have filled everything, we can add it. So the total retinol grams would be 89.99 grams. Then beta-carotene, we have 29.35 plus 0.3 plus 815.5 is equal to 845.05 grams. Then we have 26 plus 89.1 plus 4.55 plus 68.15 is equal to 164.4 grams. Then we have for B1, 0.03 plus 0.07 plus 0.07 plus 0.07 is equal to 0.23 grams. Then for B2, we have 0.05 plus 0.07 plus 0.06 plus 0.07 is equal to 0.25. Then we have 0.85 plus 0.47 plus 1.16 plus 0.7 is equal to 3.18 grams. Then 15.73 plus 8.45 is equal to 24.18 grams. So to find the total macronutrients, we add it all together. So 89.99 plus 845.05 grams plus 164.4 grams plus 0.23 grams plus 0.25 grams plus 3.18 grams plus 24.18 grams is equal to 1127.2 grams. Total macronutrients.
Today we are making avocado egg sandwich. First put the eggs in the pot, then add a liter of water. Make sure it is an inch higher than the eggs. Then set it on a high heat. Cover it with a pan and wait for 10 minutes. Once it is done boiling, put it into a bowl of cold water and set it aside. While waiting for it to cool down, we will start slicing the avocado and scooping out its flesh into the bowl. Then we start adding a tablespoon of mayonnaise and mash it together. Now that the boiled eggs have cooled down, we can take it out of the bowl and start peeling off its shell. Once peeled thoroughly, start chopping into small pieces. And then add to the avocado mixture. Then we can add a dash of salt and a dash of pepper or more to taste. Stir until well mixed. Once it is well mixed, it is ready to be used as a spread for the sandwich. So I took 2 pieces of white bread and cut out the crusts, which is optional. Now we can put the avocado egg salad mixture on top of the bread. Once done spreading, you can put the 2 slices of bread together, and this is also optional, but I cut it diagonally. And now your avocado egg sandwich is ready to serve.
So the proper time and temperature for the meal, or for the boiled eggs specifically, is the eggs have to be at room temperature before it being boiled, and the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. And for the egg to get hard boiled, it takes about 10 minutes. So you have to make sure that the yolk isn't runny anymore. So the carbohydrates present in the breakfast meal is the bread and mango. And the proteins present are the eggs, and the bread also has protein as well. And for fats, mainly the avocado, mayonnaise, and the egg also has some fats because it has the yolk in it. So the process of the digestion of carbohydrates in the breakfast meal, the simple sugars are absorbed through the walls of the intestines by means of simple diffusion, and also by means of a mechanism requiring energy and active transport via the sodium pump. Sugar absorption is affected by the chemistry of the simple sugar. A transport mechanism serves as a common carrier and pathway for these sugars. All of the absorbed sugars enter the circulation by way of the portal vein to the liver, where certain changes take place. So for the process of digestion of protein absorption happens in your small intestine, which contains microvilli. These are small finger-like structures that increase the absorptive surface area of your small intestine. This allows for maximum absorption of amino acids and other nutrients. Once they have been absorbed, amino acids are released into your bloodstream, which takes them to cells in other parts of your body so they can start repairing tissue and building muscle. So for the digestion of fats, fatty acids are passed through the lymph system and then throughout the body via your bloodstream to be used or stored for energy, cell repair, and growth. Your lymph system also absorbs fatty acids to help fight infection. Adipose, which is a fat tissue, takes triglyceride from the chylomicrons. Each chylomicron gets smaller, eventually leaving the remnant that's rich in cholesterol and taken in by the liver. So how much water content is in the meal? So the avocado, based on the food composition table, has 56.64 ml amount, white bread 8.12, boiled eggs 79.64, mayo 0.89, and mango 45.09. So all in all, that's 188.38 ml, or we round it up to 190 without the drink or the tea. But with the beverage, overall it's 438.38 ml or 450 ml. So the micronutrients present in the meal, so the food items, avocado, white bread, egg, mayonnaise, and mango, there's a lot. So folate, vitamin K, copper, riboflavin, potassium, vitamin E, niacin, vitamin B6, vitamin C, manganese, magnesium, thiamine, iron, vitamin A, vitamin B5, vitamin B9, vitamin D, vitamin B12, biotin, choline, phosphorus, iodine, selenium, and zinc. So folate contributes to the division of cells and therefore to tissue growth during pregnancy. It also contributes to normal blood formation and normal functioning of the immune system. Vitamin K plays a role in blood clot, preventing excessive bleeding. Copper helps transport iron to the bone marrow, where it integrates our red blood cells. It also boosts iron absorption in the intestine. Riboflavin is required for the development of many things in the body, including skin lining of the digestive tract, blood cells, and brain function. Potassium is one of the body's electrolytes, which is important for maintaining the intracellular fluid volume and transmembrane electrochemical gradient. Vitamin E is a potent lipid-soluble antioxidant found in higher concentration in immune cells compared to other cells in blood. It is one of the most effective nutrients known to modulate immune function. Niacin is made and used by your body to turn food into energy. It helps keep your nervous system, digestive system, and skin healthy. Vitamin B6 turns food into energy and helping to create neurotransmitters such as serotonin and dopamine. Vitamin C helps to protect cells and keeping them healthy. Also helps maintain healthy skin, blood vessels, bones, and cartilage, and wound healing. Manganese plays a role in blood clotting and hemostasis in conjunction with vitamin K. Magnesium plays a role in the active transport of calcium and potassium ions across cell membranes, a process that is important to nerve impulse conduction, muscle contraction, and normal heart rhythm. Thiamine helps the body generate energy from nutrients, also known as thiamine. Thiamine is necessary for the growth, development, and function of cells. Iron is vital for almost all living organisms by participating in a wide variety of metabolic processes, including oxygen transport, DNA synthesis, and electron transport. Vitamin A is critical for vision as an essential component of rhodopsin, a protein that absorbs light in the retinal receptors, and because it supports the normal differentiation and functioning of the conjunctival membranes and cornea. Vitamin B5 is necessary for making blood cells, and it helps you convert the food you eat into energy. Vitamin D is a nutrient your body needs for building and maintaining healthy bones. That's because your body can only absorb calcium, the primary component of bone, when vitamin D is present. Vitamin B12 plays an essential role in red blood cell formation, cell metabolism, nerve function, and the production of DNA, the molecules inside cells that carry genetic information. Biotin is an important component of enzymes in the body that break down certain substances like fats, carbohydrates, and others. Choline is a nutrient that supports various bodily functions, including cellular growth and metabolism. So phosphorus is a component of bones, teeth, DNA, and RNA. Iodine is an essential component of the hormones produced by the thyroid gland. Selenium is a constituent of more than 2 dozen selenoproteins that play critical roles in reproduction, thyroid hormone metabolism, DNA synthesis, and protection from oxidative damage and infection. And zinc can act as an antioxidant and help fight inflammation. The studies even stated that the effects of zinc could reduce the symptoms of the common cold within 24 hours. So what are the electrolytes present in a meal? So how much water does that food item contain? Avocado contains 56.64 ml, white bread 8.12, boiled egg 79.64, mayonnaise 0.89, mango 45.09, and black tea 250 ml. So all in all, that's 483.38 or 450 ml. Sorry, this is 438. Then what makes the meal prevent the patient from acquiring dental problems? Avocado is filled with folic acid. It is a natural vitamin that plays an important role in managing the way our cells divide, including the cells that make up our gum tissue. When your body has the right amount of folic acid, your gum tissue can fight back against inflammation and bleeding. It is also rich in potassium, playing an important role in keeping bones strong. It also helps regulate bodily fluids and waste removal. It's a vitamin that isn't talked about as often, but has huge benefits not only for your body but for your teeth as well. When your body has enough potassium, the integrity and structure of your pearly whites is strengthened, lessening your risk of tooth decay. Then the eggs are also good because eggs are rich in phosphorus, vitamin D, and vitamin K. The phosphorus is found in bones and teeth, so consuming foods with this mineral will help strengthen them. Tooth decay and bleeding gums are the two most common measures of your teeth. Both are chronic diseases. Tooth decay is the most common chronic condition in kids, and bleeding gums is the first sign of gum disease. Gum disease is a chronic inflammatory disorder. It's not just a sign of your gum health, but also a sign of your gut health. While we focus on polishing our teeth to keep them clean and white, we fail to look at what's going on in the body that can also impact dental health. Vitamin D plays a key promoting dental health and helping prevent tooth decay and gum disease. Potassium improves bone mineral density. It also works with magnesium to prevent blood from becoming too acidic, which can leach calcium from your bones and teeth. And micro can also eliminate bad breath, prevent bleeding from the gums, and also minimize the risk of tooth decay. So the utilization and interrelationships of nutrients found in this meal. Nutrients are the substances found in food which drive biological activity and are essential for the human body. Protein is the main constituent of the body, making up the muscles, internal organs, skin, and blood. There are 20 kinds of amino acids that make up proteins, 9 of which are synthesized in the body and are therefore called essential amino acids. These essential amino acids must be supplemented from meals. Although consuming too much fat to obesity, small amounts can provide a highly efficient energy source. Carbohydrates can be broken down further into the two categories of sugars and dietary fiber. Sugars are the carbohydrates which can be used as an energy source to move the body, such as during exercise, and are stored in the liver and muscles as glycogen. Sugars are also the main source of energy for the brain. Dietary fiber, on the other hand, is also known as the sixth major nutrient and is the indigestible portion of the food that is not broken down by human digestive enzymes. Vitamins and minerals are also not used as energy but instead aid in breaking down and building up proteins, fats, and sugars and are an essential nutrient for keeping the body healthy and in good working order. Vitamin is the general term for the organic compounds containing carbon which are most likely impossible for the body to synthesize, and the lack of these vitamins can possibly lead to various deficiency-related diseases. So how do these food items contribute to COVID-19? The avocado is a source of vitamins that helps strengthen the immune system, such as vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E. It contains antioxidants such as carotenoids. It also contains small amounts of selenium and zinc. White bread contains B group vitamins and vitamin A. Boiled eggs have B group vitamins, vitamin A, vitamin D, and selenium. Mayonnaise have small amounts of selenium and zinc. It also has small amounts of B group vitamins, vitamin A, and vitamin E. Mango contains B group vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin E, and is also high in antioxidants and packed with polyphenols. Antioxidants are important as they protect your cells against the free radical damage. Free radicals are highly reactive compounds that can bind and damage your cells. And for black tea, it has small amounts of B group vitamins and zinc.
Hello, this is Yohanna and I will be discussing about the food exchange computation. So first, you need to allow 3 to 5 exchanges of vegetables per day, and the number of exchanges will then be multiplied to the number of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats in which the food item contains. Afterwards, it will then be added to obtain the number of calories, and the process will then be repeated to the other food items. Next is to allow 3 to 5 exchanges of fruits per day unless there is a need of drastic restriction of simple carbohydrates. Also allow at least 1 exchange of milk, which can either be low-fat, non-fat, or whole milk, if tolerated. The amount and type of milk depends upon the client's needs and health conditions. Lastly, allow 3 to 6 exchanges of sugar per day unless contraindicated. Now, to determine the rice exchanges, add the total amount of carbohydrates from the food items, vegetables, fruits, milk, and sugar, which is called partial sum. Now, the partial sum will be subtracted from the prescribed amount of carbohydrates. The difference will then be divided by 23 grams, which is a constant number. This will now be the amount of carbohydrate per exchange of rice. Now, this process will be repeated for the other exchanges. Now, the exchanges of rice A, B, and C is determined by dividing the amount of carbohydrates per exchange of rice. Now, to determine the meat exchanges, all the protein content of the food items mentioned will be added to gather the partial sum. It will then be subtracted from the prescribed protein and divided by the constant number 8 to get the number of meat exchanges. And same goes for the fat exchanges. The exchanges of low-fat meat, medium-fat meat, and high-fat meat are adjusted to get the partial sum of the fat content of food items, which will then be subtracted and divided by the constant number 5 to get the number of fat exchanges. Now, to get the total and its RDA, all the carbohydrates, protein, and fat content of all the food items will be added. Now the total carbohydrates and proteins are multiplied by 4 while the fat is multiplied by 9 to get its RDA. Now the RDA will then be added and the total calories is determined from the food items, which must be equal to the amount of RDA. In making the banana cake, the ingredients and materials are 2 bananas, 2 eggs, a teaspoon of baking soda, a half a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1.5 cup of all-purpose flour, a half a cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of white sugar, a half a cup of milk and oil, casserole, and electric steamer. So the first step is to whisk the brown and white sugar together in a bowl and then add it with the eggs. Second is to pour the milk and oil together. Afterwards, mix it thoroughly. Third is to remove the banana peel and mash it using a fork. Fourth is to add the mashed bananas into the liquid mixture and combine it. In a separate bowl of all-purpose flour, combine it with the rest of the dry ingredients. Then, pour it slowly to incorporate the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. Lastly, add the vanilla extract for flavoring. After making the batter, pour it in a casserole and ready for steaming. Place the casserole in an electric steamer and let it steam for at least 30 minutes. After steaming, remove the banana cake from the steamer and let it cool for a few minutes. Then, slice the banana cake into pieces and transfer it into a plate for measuring. Make sure it weighs about 50 grams. Prepare 250 ml of water. Morning snack recipe, the proper time in baking the banana cake is about 30 minutes at 212 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 degrees Celsius. The appropriate cooking method used is boiling and steaming. For the carbohydrates present are sugar and banana cake. Now, in order to process those carbohydrates and to be utilized by the body, it will undergo different stages. First, it will begin in the mouth as it releases salivary amylase to break down sugars. And the second stage will be the stomach as it creates acid to kill the bacteria from the food. Then, it will proceed in the small intestine, pancreas, and liver. They will release different enzymes to break down further the carbohydrates into monosaccharides and store as glycogen and glucose. The last stage will then happen in the colon, where all leftovers from the digestive processes will be eliminated as stools. Now, for the proteins present is the banana cake itself. In the process of digestion, it begins once the protein reaches the stomach. The protease and hydrochloric acid breaks down the protein sources into smaller chains of amino acids. It will then move into the small intestine, and the pancreas will reduce acidity to allow more enzymes and further breaking chains to individual amino acids. And for the fat present in the meal is found from the banana cake. The process of digestion will first happen in the mouth, which moistens the food to break down the fat. The stomach lining will then produce acids and enzymes to help break down and pass through the small intestine. The majority of digestion and absorption happens once it reaches the small intestines. Pancreas produce enzymes while liver produce bile to help in digesting fats and certain vitamins. After that, fatty acids are passed throughout the lymph system and throughout the body via bloodstream, which will be used or stored for energy, cell repair, and growth. It will also help fight infection. So as the food items such as white sugar, which contains 0.01 ml of water, 32.6 ml for the banana cake, and 0 ml for the canola oil, the total water content of this meal would be 282.7 ml. It reached to this amount as this meal also includes a cup or 250 ml of water. The water content of the food items are determined by multiplying the weight by its specific water percentage. Different food items also varies their kinds and quantity of minerals. For the white sugar, it contains phosphorus, calcium, and magnesium. Potassium for the banana cake, and 0 minerals for the canola oil. These minerals have their own functions in helping the body to function properly. So to prevent the patient from acquiring dental problems, this meal contains fruits such as bananas, which can help strengthen tooth enamel, so they're very good for the teeth compared to other types of fruits like oranges, which have pH of about 3 to 4. Bananas also have a better pH of about 4.5 to 5.2. This means they're low in acid. Excessive acid buildup can control to tooth decay, so this is a good thing. Now, this meal also helps produce and utilize nutrients such as carbohydrates that keep you full longer and stabilizes blood sugar levels, helping to keep craving at bay. Blood sugar dips 3 to 5 hours after you eating small frequent snacks. Keep your metabolism rev out and helps normalize blood sugar. Hunger can throw your body into famine mode, which slows metabolism and makes it easier to pack on the pounds. The proteins found in this meal also helps to boost the production of neurotransmitters, which regulate concentration and alertness. So for the contributions to the COVID-19 pandemic, the low amount of sugar helps to lessen the food from being too sweet to avoid tonsillitis, which is very risky for COVID. As banana is the main ingredient for banana cake, it contains a lot of healthy benefits, and it also is a good alternative for unhealthy carbohydrates. And lastly, canola oil, as it is classified as unsaturated fat, which is very beneficial compared to saturated fats. It causes chronic inflammation and impaired host defense against viruses, which increases the risk of COVID.
And has 6 ounces. The AP weight is 36 grams. AP weight is 84%. AP weight for grams is 30. And there's no carbohydrate in chicken, and protein is 21.6. So protein is 7.78. Then the fat is 5.0. And total fat is 1.8. For the rice is 1 cup. AP weight is 80. AP weight is 100. AP weight 80. Carbohydrates 29.7. 23.76. The protein is 2.1 and 1.68. The fat is 0.2 and 0.16. For the mango is 1 piece or 1 slice. So AP weight is 103 grams. AP weight is 58%. AP weight 60 grams is carbohydrate is 18.9 and 19.47. Protein is 0.7 and 0.72. The fat is 0.2 and 0.21. Olive oil is 1/4 cup. So AP weight there's none, and the AP weight also there's none. So the AP weight grams is 5 grams. The carbohydrate, protein, and fat there's none. So the total carbohydrate for is 43.23 grams, and for the protein is 10.18 grams. For the fat is 2.17 grams. So for the carbohydrate I times 4, for the protein is times 4, and for the fat is times 9. So the total energy is 234 kcal. I added 173 kcal, 41 kcal, and 20 kcal. So total energy for the carbohydrate is 74%, and for the protein is 18%, and the fat is 9%. Chicken, EP weight is 30 grams, the water is 73.1 and 21.93. So the dietary fiber has none, and the ash is 1.0 and 0.3. Calcium is 24 and 7.2. The phosphorus is 162 and 48.6, and the iron is 1.0 and 0.3. For the rice, EP weight is 80 grams, water is total of 57.4 and 45.92. So the dietary fiber is 0.5 and 0.4. So the ash is 0.8 and 0.64. The calcium is 3 and 2.4. Phosphorus is 35 and 28, and iron is 1.1 and 0.88. So for the mango, it's 60 EP weight grams. Water total is 79.9 and 47.94. So the dietary fiber is 1.9 and 1.14. So the ash is 0.3, 0.18. The calcium is 15 and 9. So phosphorus is 16 and 9.6. And the iron is 0.5 and 0.3. Olive oil, it has none, but the EP weight is 5 grams. So the total macronutrients for H2O is 210.4 grams. Dietary fiber is 2.4 grams. Ash is 2.1 grams. Calcium is 42 grams. The phosphorus is 213 grams, and for the iron is 2.6 grams. The weight for chicken is 30 grams. Retinol is 30 and 9. So B cart is 0, and REG is 30 and 9. So B1 is 0.06 and 0.02. So B2 is 0.06 and 0.02. So B3 is 9.7, 2.91. So the vitamin C has none for the chicken. The rice has 80 grams. So retinol has none. B cart also, and the REG. So B1 for the rice has 0.02, both of them. So 0.04 for B2 and 0.03. So B3 is 0.4 and 0.32. So there are none for vitamin C for the rice. Mango has 60 EP weight. So retinol has none. B cart has 150. 1,500 and 900. So REG is 125 and 75. So B1 is 0.06 and 0.04. So B2 is 0.08 and 0.05. So B3 has 0.6 and B3 is 0.36. So vitamin C has 46 and 27.6. Olive oil has 80 grams. So there are none. And the total macronutrients for retinol is 30 grams. For B cart is 1,500 grams. The REG is 155 grams. The B1 is 0.14 grams. B2 is 0.18 grams. And B3 is 10.7 grams. And lastly is vitamin C is 46 grams.
So this is how I cook my grilled lemon chicken. So first, cleaning first the area and prepare the ingredients. So before anything else, I marinated first the chicken. I put 1/4 cup of olive oil and a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Then I added 2 tablespoons of oregano, I added 4 garlic cloves pressed, and after I put a half teaspoon of salt, and lastly I put 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Then I mix it well. I preheated the grill pan to medium-high heat. Place the chicken on the grill pan for 5 to 7 minutes. I just use tongs to flip over and look until the juice run dry, approximately 5 to 7 more minutes. Remove chicken from the grill and ready to serve.
So for our PM snacks, we have the low-fat meal for 250 ml. The marshmallow. So this is the food composition table of your PM snacks, and these are the food description for marshmallow and low-fat milk. So the total energy requirement is 314.16 kcal, and 62.80 kcal, 136.18 kcal. So these are the food descriptions for the marshmallow and the low-fat milk. So these are the PM snacks. The food item and number of changes. And number of changes is 1 for marshmallow. For the household measurements is 1 teaspoon or 5 grams. And for the low-fat milk, we have one number of exchanges, and low-fat milk, it has 1 cup or 250 ml for household measurements. And the recipe is low-fat milk and marshmallow. So this is my laboratory uniform, and for the ingredients we have low-fat milk and marshmallow. For the procedures, we need to prepare the glass for the milk and prepare the plate for the marshmallow. So the proper time and temperature. Milk is usually served cold at a temperature of 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 4.44 degrees Celsius. So the cooking method used is none. So we need to identify the carbohydrates present in our snacks. So the present in carbohydrates are low-fat milk and marshmallow. So the protein present is low-fat milk. And right now we will discuss the process of digestion of carbohydrates and PM snacks. So this enzyme breaks down the chyme into dextrine and maltose. From there, the wall of the small intestine begins to make lactase, sucrase, and maltase. So these enzymes break down the sugars even further into monosaccharides or single sugars. So these sugars are the ones that are finally absorbed into the small intestine. So the process of ingestion of protein in our snacks. So protein take longer to digest than the stomach than do carbohydrates and milk. So they contain some of the slowest digesting proteins. Casein proteins are soluble in milk but form insoluble curds once they reach the stomach, making it hard for digestive enzymes to break them apart. So the milk digestion begins in the acidic environment from the stomach, where pepsin starts protein digestion by breaking down milk protein into smaller fragments. So the total water content of this meal is 104.6 ml. So this consists of 20.8 ml of water content in marshmallow and 83.8 ml of water content in low-fat milk. So these are the list of all the micronutrients that are present in this meal. So the food items is low-fat milk. It has minerals from vitamin B1 to vitamin B12. It also has vitamin C, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, selenium, and zinc. So each has its own function. So for the water and electrolytes present in this meal, so for the low-fat milk, it contains 20.8 ml of water, and for the marshmallow, it contains 83.8 ml of water. So what makes the meal prevent the patients from acquiring dental problems? So these enhancements are essential for maintaining strong, healthy bones. Generally, 99% of our body calcium is secured in our bones and teeth. So milk is a brilliant wellspring of enhancements for your body relies upon the suitability to ingest calcium, including supplement D, supplement K, phosphorus, and magnesium. Adding milk and dairy things to your eating routine may thwart bone affections like osteoporosis. So we need to explain the utilization and interrelationships of the nutrients found in this meal. So they are quickly digested and broken down into glucose because the major source of energy for our body and it is essential energy source for our brain. So the lactose in dairy and breast milk is broken down into galactose as well as glucose. So how does this food items contribute to COVID-19? For marshmallow, so the scientists analyzed blood collected from flu patients and healthy individuals in Wuhan, China between 2018 and 2019. They found that the flu-infected subjects' blood had higher glucose levels and correspondingly higher levels of immune system signaling molecules than that to unhealthy patients.
In computing the food composition table of the dinner plan, first is to list all the food items. Second is to fill in on all the needed information such as the household measurements and the EP weighted grams and percentage, the carbohydrates, protein, and gram fats. After that is to compute the EP weight by multiplying the EP weight grams to the EP weight percentage and to get the carbohydrates, protein, and fats EP. It is computed by multiplying the EP weighted grams to the carbohydrates, proteins, and fat, which will then divided by 100. It is then added by column to get its total. The carbohydrate and protein total is then multiplied by 4, while 9 is for the fat to get its kilocalories. Now, the 3 kilocalories are then added all together to get the total energy. The kilocalories are also divided by the total energy and multiplied by 100 to get its corresponding percentage. In the next table, the food items are still listed and it is filled with its corresponding amount of food contents. The process are still the same, however, for the minerals, it is first converted from the unit milligrams to grams before solving it. After computing, it is then added to get its total micronutrients, and same goes with this table also. The food items are listed and nutrients are filled in. Then its corresponding EPs are determined with the given formula. Lastly, the columns are then added to find its total micronutrients. First, be sure to wash all the ingredients together. Slice or cut the chicken into parts. I just made use of the breast part of the chicken. Then cut or slice the vegetables, the pad chai, the bell pepper, everything on the dish. Be sure to cut it evenly and as it should be. After cutting your vegetables, put them alongside and put them all together and take some water and put it on the pot and be sure to match up the stove and prepare it for cooking. Once it's still boiling, peel some onions and cut it for your dish to add flavor, that it serves spices on your dish, so you want to get that flavor out of the onion. So gather all your ingredients together. Be sure that the fire is set about 185 to 205 Fahrenheit or 85 to 96 degrees Celsius. Once it's done cooking, open the lid and take some soup out of the pot. So same goes for your banana for about 20 minutes in low heat. There you have it, your diet meal plan dinner for your patient.